2-1. I am your host, Preston Bailey. With me, as always, is Cam Vieira. We're getting all kinds of crazy things going on, and yes, you read the title correctly. That's not clickbait. Lamar Jackson is like Michael Vick, but better. The key word, but better. The two words, but better. Now, why do I say that? There is a lot of similarities in size. Michael Vick was about 6 foot, about 212, 215 pounds. Lamar Jackson is a little bit leaner, not quite as muscular as Michael Vick was. He's a little bit taller, 6'2", 6'2 and a half, about 212, 213 pounds. So they're very similar in size-wise. They're both mobile. They're both athletic. I'm going to go over both careers very quickly. But at the end of the day, Michael Vick was never an MVP, but make no mistake about it. When Michael Vick played in the early to mid to later 2000s, he was the first new millennium style of quarterback, in my opinion. He was the first true mobile quarterback. You know, we had in the time, would you agree with that, Cam?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, we had Dante Culpepper, who was 6'4", 250 pounds. He's a huge guy, but he was athletic, but he wasn't super mobile. Donovan McNabb was athletic and mobile, but not to the level of Michael Vick. Michael Vick is next level mobile, like Lamar Jackson is next level mobile. I said even before the year with my Lamar Jackson, people are like, oh, Lamar Jackson's struggling this year. No, he's not struggling. Lamar Jackson this year is more comparable to who he is this year than he was last year. Last year was a lightning rod of energy and of everything else.
He'll never repeat that.
He'll never repeat that. 35 passing touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, 1,200 yards rushing. That's ridiculous. Okay, that's phenomenal. But that's isolated. And so to bring up Michael Vick, and to kind of touch on it, Michael Vick's best passing season was 3,303 yards. That was his best. Lamar Jackson's was better last year. His best passing season was ironically in a basically an 11-game season, 12 games overall, 11 games in Philadelphia, where he threw 3,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So there's a lot of comparatives between the two. Lamar Jackson is substantially better. He's a better athlete. He's a better runner. He's a better passer. He's, again, more accurate, better deep ball. He does everything better than Michael Vick. But imagine part of it as well, and the reason why I want to do this video, part of it is the sign of the times. The times now is more open to a mobile quarterback like a Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick. Now, why do I say that? Because the game is not as physical today. But the reason why 10, 15, 20 plus years ago, in the beginning of time, it was a more physical game. So you couldn't run 12, 15 times a game and throw the ball 25, 30 times.
When Brady and Manning were young, it was a more physical game.
When Brady and Manning were young, it was a more physical game. So that's why you've seen the change, and that's why you've seen this explosion of athletic guys, a Lamar Jackson, a Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence coming out, Russell Wilson. It's kind of exploded. We're just going to name them all? Okay. But the point is, with all the guys here, you want to name like 9 of the guys? Okay, well, I was trying to keep it reined in here, but but the point is, the game is not as physical, which benefits mobile quarterbacks. It used to be you had to be a 6'5" statue. That's how the game used to be played. It used to be you had to be a big 6'5", 220, 230-pound statue, like a Drew Bledsoe, like one of those, like a Dan Marino. Even though he's quick release, he was still a statue. Joe Flacco, a big hulking guy that was a statue. The game has changed now. You couldn't move. He couldn't move. And you wouldn't want him to move because the edge rushers were coming off. They were coming off the edge.
Bledsoe moved, his career was over.
The one time he moved, his career was over. So, yeah. So the game favors mobile quarterbacks. It's more spread offense. You can't be as physical on them. That's why even if you wanted to be more physical, you couldn't be more physical. So those are the breakdown of the two. I side with Lamar Jackson. I still think Lamar Jackson has a chance to be a very good quarterback. Let's take a look at it like this. So last year, 66% accuracy, phenomenal. 3,127 yards, pretty solid. Not great, but solid. 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That is phenomenal. But where are we at with the rushing yard here? 1,200 rushing yards last year, which is absolutely unbelievable. Let me take a look at the rushing here. Rushing was, 1,206 yards and 7 touchdowns. So that's unbelievable. Now, this season, he's came down substantially. He's 6-4. Accuracy's gone down 3 points. He's a shade under 2,000 yards passing, 15 TDs, 6 interceptions. So, again, he'll be in the mid-20s. Okay, so he'll be in the mid-20s. He'll be in the 24, 25 touchdown range, 9, 10 interception range. 25 to 10, that's totally fine. That's very, very good. It's just not elite like he was last year. It's just not elite like he was last year. What are your thoughts on that, Cam?
No, I agree. I mean, Lamar Jackson's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not always going to be a year until he wins a game, because he's played the 2 worst playoff games I've ever seen a quarterback play. He is the James Harden of football. All-world talent, can light you up. In the playoffs, though, something goes wrong. And that's going to be attached to him until he can shake it.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about 2 bad playoff performances. And you're like, Chris, why are you not worried? Okay, because this team, and I'm going to say this, it's like Baltimore's got a good defense. I'm going to defend Lamar Jackson here. I don't believe his team. I don't believe you're right. He's throwing to Des Bryant, and to go a step further, I'm not going to blast his team that like half his guys got COVID. That's not what I'm going to go with. I'm simply saying Hollywood Brown is a solid receiver. He's Mike Wallace. For those that remember Pittsburgh, he's Mike Wallace.
Miami. Yep.
Okay, he's Mike Wallace. He's Deshaun Jackson. If you think Deshaun Jackson was ever a top 5 receiver, he wasn't. He was good, not great. He was solid. Second tier. Same thing with Hollywood Brown. He's solid, not great. And then Willie Sneads and a beat up Des Bryant. You got Mark Andrews is a great tight end. He is a legit top 5 tight end. He got COVID, by the way, and I'm concerned with him.
He's been banged up all year
with his health issues, and he's been banged up. They've got a couple good running backs, but let's not act. To be fair, he doesn't have Antonio Brown, Gronk, and all the other guys either.
Mark Ingram's not Alvin Kamara.
Right, and Mark Ingram's not Alvin Kamara. So absolutely there. So that's the thing there. We're getting a little bit of feedback there from you, Cam, so making sure everything's good there. But, so we're good to go with that. But, yeah, that's the reason. He needs more weapons. I thought it was dumb that they got rid of Hayden Hurst, losing a good tight. He needs that. He needs his style. He can have 3 Hollywood Browns. That doesn't matter.
He needs the guy over the middle.
His style, he needs 2 tight ends, 7 or 8, 9 yards, check down. He needs the running back. He needs a guy like a Kamara. He needs a guy like a Christian McCaffrey. Those are the guys. Big Mark Ingram, 225 pounds. He needs an Ingram. He needs a Kamara. He needs one of those guys. That's the same thing with Tom Brady. They're different styles, but Tom Brady needs an Alvin Kamara. He needs a James White, C-Mac. He needs those kind of guys. The running backs that we have are big, bruising backs, like a Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. They're not built for Tom Brady. They're not matched with Tom Brady. Even though Leonard Fournette does have every tool in the tool belt, they're not using him appropriately. So that is my take on that. Like and subscribe to this channel and all of our other channels. But Cam, what do you think about that before we wrap this bad boy up?
Yes, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Absolutely. Just hit the button. Doesn't take a lot of effort. Just whether you're on your phone or on your computer, just hit the button. It's not that hard. Watch our video, hit the button.
Sounds good. Great take. Thanks again. Remember, Lamar Jackson is like Michael Vick,
but better.